Tuesday, everyone. Today is a Things We Like episode, and
are we pausing the upload?
No, I will in a minute, but just let me handle it, Brooks. I got it. Don't tell me what to do, Brooks. We are here, another episode of Things We Like podcast with Andrew and Brooks. Brooks, what are you doing today? You got something new to show us.
Guys, I'm gonna flash y'all.
Well, what is it? What is it?
It's it's Banjo Kermit, but it was a sticker on my desk, so that's why it looks like a sticker. I just took the bandage off.
Dude.
And it's a little crusty.
They even did the shadowing, like
yeah.
sticker.
So it looks like a sticker. I didn't expect it. I didn't know my artist was gonna do that. Shout out to the Gold Mantis. Angel and Jimmy and everybody there, they're awesome.
That's so good.
I've been wanting to make a video and just like advertise for them for free.
Yeah.
And I'll do that eventually.
Yeah.
But
you are a walking advertisement for them.
That's true. If I ever if one of these days I'm ever huge, they will also be huge.
You need to do a tattoo walkthrough on your channel sometime.
That would be a great video.
That's a great video. Yeah. You
try to do
that.
it in order, but I've already forgot in the order I got them in, so
I bet if you sat down and like wrote it all out, you could you might be able to remember. You have a lot though, and you also probably can't see some of them, so you have to like get a mirror.
I think I have like 32 at this point, maybe 33. Also, the live stream looks amazing.
There we go. Yeah, we updated. We changed some of our live stream stuff.
Yep, because the last time I tried to do that, it looked like doo-doo, but now it looks like woohoo. So.
Now it looks like wahoo. Speaking of wahoo,
Mario Day, March 5th. Mario Day.
It's about to say it just happened yesterday, as of day of recording, and also, we are out here. Did you see any like a bunch of games went on sale like for this whole week?
Oh, really?
Yup.
Is it on the eShop, like Nintendo eShop or whatever?
Yep. I haven't checked out everything that is available.
If the Plucky Squire's on there, I got to get it because I saw it the other day.
Well, it's a lot of Mario games.
Oh, true. But I didn't know if they were doing a big sale. But like, anyway.
No, I think it's just a bunch of Mario, specifically like Mario-centric games. But speaking of Mario, today we're going to talk about Nintendo and what are 2025 Nintendo predictions. It's supposed to be a big year for Nintendo. We talked about it a little bit last week with like things that we like missed while we were not podcasting as often, and I think there's a lot of stuff that we want to talk about. There's a lot of stuff that we think might happen. I think that we have different hopes and dreams, or things that
sure do.
Things that we're gonna get crushed about because we know they're not gonna happen.
Oh, I know that's me.
So I'm gonna try to be the positive one here, and Brooks can be 100% negative if he wants.
I won't actually be. I'll be like 80.
80%, 80-20.
I'll give you 80. So you wanna? Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go
You could go first. I went first last time. You could go first.
All right. So here's a prediction that I have for just Nintendo Switch Online and stuff. They still won't have achievements.
So you predict they won't have
that's
achievements.
I'm predicting that they will not be achievement based, and I am craving achievement because the thing I dislike the most about the Switch, and this is nitpicking because I love the Switch, is the fact that like if I'm trying to play Hollow Knight, yes, I can play it on the go. I love playing it. It's great. But if I wanted to get achievements or get everything or collect everything, there's no incentive. Incentive? Yeah. I usually say incentive. I don't know why that's weird to
correct.
me coming up.
Yeah.
There's no incentive for me to want to collect things other than just doing it on my own volition. And I don't like that. I think that's why I love PC gaming. That's why I love anything else other than the Switch, because like I played through I beat Doom 2016 and it was great. Like I love that game. And it had achievements inside of the game, which is kind of like a workaround for it.
Yeah.
But that game also comes out on like it's on PC, it's on PlayStation, it's on Xbox. I think it's multi-platform. So I would really love to see achievements for the Switch online. I think it would be cool. They don't have to make them difficult, just make them, you know.
Yeah. Dude, they're big in indie games. Achievements are huge in indie games or games where you like do a lot of adventure kind of games, and especially because they're bringing over all of those like Dark Souls games, like those have become more on the Switch, and you're seeing a lot of like Dragon's Dogma games coming over to the Switch. Skyrim has been like absolutely a massive success on the Switch because people love the idea of taking Skyrim and, you know, just playing it on the go, on the train, on the bus, all that kind of stuff. But I don't think that I kind of agree with you. I think this is actually my first prediction. Now I'll piggyback off yours. I agree with you that they won't do achievements as we know them. I think in the most Nintendo-y of Nintendo ways, they're going to find some weird roundabout way to do achievements their own way. It's not going to feel like any other kind of thing.
I actually wouldn't mind that. I think that would be pretty cool.
I actually think, and that I hope that is what they do. They tend to be like, hey, we're going to take a version of something. They almost Apple it in a way where it's like they always take a thing that somebody is doing and then they like do their own little Nintendo-y spin on it, you know? I don't know what that's going to be. It also is a testament that they're taking away the we didn't talk about this last time, but they're taking away with the new Switch update and all that stuff, the gold like coin things when you buy games on the digital store. Yeah, they're taking that away. Like the gold collection, whatever thing, to like reduce the cost of some games.
Oh, okay.
So I'm hoping that with the removal of that, maybe that terminology will actually become their new like achievement system or something like that.
That would be cool. Also, shout out to Dr. Deathwish and Emily in the chat. Dr. Deathwish says, hope you guys have a wonderful day. Just got away from a nasty flu. It was brutal. Hope you get feeling better soon, buddy.
Yeah.
I think they're going to make it as hidden achievements where you're not going to be able to see them, only when you achieve them.
That would actually be really cool if they do the hidden achievements thing where it's like you don't know that it's there until you do them. But on one hand, it's like it's hard to. I understand that would be a very Nintendo way of going about it, right? Which is like we're gonna have some weird like hidden system that exists under a layer for the people that want it, but for the people that don't care about it, it's not going to be like very visible. That would be a very Nintendo way of going about it. The only thing I don't like about that is like it's hard to know what the actual achievements are.
Right, yeah. Because like again, like I said, you have games that have achievements inside of them, which is great, and it like gives me an incentive to want to do them. And if I don't want to do them, I don't have to, but they're there for me. But there is just a satisfying feeling that I get if I'm playing a video game or like I'm playing something on Steam or whatever, and that little noise pops up, and I'm just like, that level of satisfaction is like, it feels so good. So I like it.
Okay, yeah, I think, like I said, they'll do it. But they'll do it their own weird.
I actually like that spin on it because you are right. Nintendo is a very like we'll do it our way kind of way. Or hold on, let me rephrase that. They are a very let's do it our way kind of company, and I think that would be a really cool spin on it.
They want to own their own thing. They want to it would be a very interesting spin on it. So that would be my first prediction. Actually, I had that on my list of achievements, but not in the way that you're used to. So
I like it.
You got another one for me, Brooks? What's another potential 2025 Nintendo prediction?
I predict that they will still have the friend codes the way that they always do them. Again, I wish they would change that, but I don't think they will. I think the friend codes will stay the same. I think it would be nice if it was a little different. Or if they, like you said, I like the idea of changing things in their own way to make it unique, but I still think that friend codes are going to remain the same. And I always forget to add people too. Like it's like 12-digit codes of like just nothing, and I'm like, oh yeah, let me add you, and it takes forever. And it takes forever is a hyperbolic statement because it might take like 20 seconds as compared to 5, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think I've not really used friend codes a lot, so that's not a thing that I like think about a lot. But yeah, and maybe it's because it's really hard right now to like
possibly
handle. Like, oh, I have to get this massively long thing and like slowly input it. It just feels very clunky. Maybe that's the reason I don't use it, is because it's so clunky. Yeah, I like Emily's suggestion of like even a QR code or some sort of like.
Yeah, that would be great.
Well, and they already make us make like names for profile names.
Yeah.
So like, why not just use that as your thing? Like, I don't know. Maybe
I
that's
agree.
too confusing. I'm not sure.
Possibly. I do like the idea of a QR code system for that, but that is so wacky and out there that Nintendo would do it, like you said. So I think that would be really cool. That's something that like people have not been a fan of for a while. It's like, oh, we're in like the age of modern gaming, so why do we still have like friend codes and stuff? It may have worked like for the Wii, or whatever. It may have worked. It
feels like a very Wii era.
Yeah,
thing.
That's one thing about Nintendo is like for every like advancement they make, they're also like really behind in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
so like it's weird. They do great stuff and they make great things, but they're also like as they progress, they also stay stuck in their ways a little bit. So that contrast, I mean, it's what makes Nintendo. But we'll see if they break out of that for the next system.
No, yeah, that's a really good prediction. I agree with you. I don't think that they're gonna change anything, but I think I hope they do. I hope they find some way to make it better. And maybe they don't change it, but they do make it better. And maybe that's the revamp, like to just find an easier way to share codes or whatever. That would be great. Well, my second prediction has to do with the Nintendo Online Shop. This is a very specific prediction. And it is that Nintendo Online is going to attempt to be amazing and awesome, and they're going to deliver they're going to have all of these promises, and they're going to try to revamp it to make it this big like system or whatever that people want to do, like online, tournaments and all this kind of stuff. And then on launch, whenever it happens, it's going to fully crash and break down almost immediately.
Well, yeah, I mean, do you remember when people tried to play like Smash Bros online?
Yeah.
Just at all?
Yeah.
Like, it's hard.
I've tried before. It's very difficult.
Yeah, it got better. It got better with like Smash Ultimate and stuff, but I remember trying to play Brawl online, and I know that's forever ago, but like the principle is the same, where it's just like, oh my god, dude.
I tried to play Smash Ultimate online, and it was still really kind of tough. But I think they're gonna like actively pursue trying to make that online experience better, and I think they're just gonna like fully eat dirt in that. I think it's not gonna be what they think it's gonna be.
True.
I don't know. What are some things? Because like right now, I feel like it's a very niche kind of use case on a lot of stuff. But I also feel like as they're getting in a lot of third-party games, different games that have existed on different systems, or if they don't really want to compete in the Call of Duty world, that's not really their game. But but like if they're getting these types of games for people that might want to play, or cross-platform games, if that's a thing that needs to exist for them, like they have to have some sort of communication system or something like that. I don't know. What do you think, Brooks? What are some ways that they might like try to update it, like the Nintendo Online system?
I feel like I am not super educated in how it works, like the hardware or the like technically how it works.
Yeah.
It has to do with like certain servers and what, because like the servers shut down for like certain consoles because like the DS servers are not, you can't go online on the DS anymore. You can't go online on the Wii anymore. You can't go online. I don't know technically how that works, but I feel like they should put some more effort into that. I don't really, because like Nintendo, they're not really like a big competitive based company. You see how they treat the Smash community.
Yeah.
Like they hate them.
Yeah.
They absolutely, well, if they don't hate them, every decision they make towards them shows that they hate them.
Yeah. They're
because
not they're not really big on like competitive Smash.
Unless it's like that. Well, their view of competitive games is like everyone should be able to enjoy it. That's why they have items in Smash. That's why they have all these like quirky, weird things in Smash. Is that
or even in like Mario Kart.
Yeah, like Mario Kart, like it's not meant to be like people can make them competitive, and there is a competitive scene for these games, but I don't think they would. I don't think they're going to put that much effort into that. I wish they would. I mean, like take Pokemon for example. People play online. People do raid battles. People do all this stuff. Like online connectivity is really important for people, and you think they would because it's like. They want everyone to play together and to enjoy their games, so why not make it easier to do that? But I don't know. The question of how they would do it, I don't know, because technically I don't understand how that works. So I'm not going to say something stupid.
Sure.
But they need to do it somehow. Because online connectivity has been an issue ever since Nintendo started doing stuff online with the Wii, and then like later generate, like even with the Switch and Smash Ultimate.
I'm gonna be very honest. I didn't realize until I was like well past using a Wii and like on the Wii U and all this kind of stuff that the Wii even had an online like system. Didn't even know it existed.
Seems foreign, yeah.
Didn't even know it existed, because you just don't think of Nintendo being that kind of company.
Right, yeah.
So I think there's that aspect. I also think if you look at like the most recent Pokemon thing that we talked about like semi-recently, they showed that at the very, very end, they showed like a tournament-y kind of combat looking thing. And I think that is going to have something to do with the new Nintendo Online system.
I hope so.
If you look at Pokemon Championships, which is also just like a big version of like Battle 1v1 Pokemon Stadium-esque kind of thing, if they don't have some sort of good online base system, like those two things right there in my mind are very big. They're could be massive in the online space, right?
True.
Of the 1v1 space. You're talking like Magic the Gathering card game level big. Yeah. As far as like super nerdy people playing their super nerdy game.
So Emily is saying the only game they did really well online is Animal Crossing.
New Leaf?
Not New Leaf, but I don't know what the H stands for.
New Horizons.
New Horizons.
Which
Okay,
is like,
that's cool.
I
think they do things to they shut down old things to focus on new things, which does make sense. I think that's how it works. If they think outside the box, they'll succeed. New Horizon, yeah. The problem is I don't think they will. Yeah, so Dr. Deathwish is of the mentality that they'll probably like stick to their like.
I tend to agree with that, and that is why I think here's why I extra agree with that, Dr. Deathwish, is because I think in this scenario they are going to try. They're going to attempt. But they're probably going to only they're going to do that Nintendo thing where they don't do it the right way and kind of half attempt it. And then it's going to just dive bomb into the ground and be awful. And then they're going to be like, well, screw this. That didn't work. We're never going to do this again.
They're going to be like, see, this is why we don't do anything.
This is why we don't do this. Exactly. That is exactly what's going to happen, is that they're going to give a half-hearted effort towards it. And then it's just going to totally bomb. And they're going to be like, well, screw this. We're never going to update this again. We're never going to deal with this again. And it's going to be just kind of some weird lackluster thing that's just going to exist. yeah, I really think they're gonna try, based on the information that I've seen, at least, with like the new games that are coming out and all this kind of stuff. But I just don't think that it's gonna work.
But I do have a positive prediction, so
Okay.
I will not be fully negative.
Okay.
I'm predicting that we're going to have some badass remakes. I think that we will see Twilight Princess come back.
God, I hope you're right.
Oh my God, Twilight Princess, because they're like legacy titles that would sell immensely well on the Switch too. Like if you just put them on there, like Skyward Sword came out on the Switch, and I'm like, yes, that's a great idea. Now put Twilight Princess, because Twilight Princess already has motion controls from the Wii. Like it was a Wii title, no, it was a GameCube title, and then they ported it to the Wii.
Yeah.
But it already has motion controls, so you could do that all day long. Bring Wind Waker HD. That would be awesome. Just let me buy that because it's only on the Wii U, to my knowledge. Just let me have.
The only place that exists is that special edition HD remake they did for the
I
Wii U.
think the reason that I'm predicting some awesome remakes and remasters is because of Metroid Prime and Paper Mario. Because I bought both of them and I've played them like chef's kiss. Like, please, that.
And Super Mario RPG sold
that
really
too.
well. It sold really well, and
I
they
have
did
that
a
one too,
great.
yeah.
They did a great job remaking that too. Like they
Yeah.
updated all the sprites and some of the action moves, and it looks so good.
Yeah, I've been wanting to go on like a Mario marathon eventually once I'm done doing all this Soul stuff, and I wanted
Yeah.
to stream Wilds as well while it's fresh. But yeah, dude, like I want to play all those games, and having those, like, dude, Twilight Princess is probably my favorite 3D Zelda. I love that game to death. Aside from like Breath of the Wild maybe. But having that, and I'm predicting that they will try that more because of the success of Paper Mario, and
Link's
not
Awakening.
only success, but like they got some amazing feedback. People are so happy about that. Thousand Year Door and Metroid Prime Remastered. I'd love to see Metroid Prime Echoes.
Yep.
Maybe Corruption would come back as well. That is the one thing that confuses me so much about Nintendo is they have all of these amazing titles and like games, and they could remake and remaster. It probably wouldn't take them a lot of manpower. It probably wouldn't take them too much time, but just like remaster Sunshine. I know they put it on the, like, remaster all these games. Like they just
Yeah,
do it.
So the thing is, I 100% agree with you, and I also like the Link's Awakening remaster is a really good example of like
love that one.
one of it was number one. That is one of my favorite like Zelda games of all time, bar none. It's like I think in my list that we did on our episode where we ranked all of our Zelda games, I'm pretty sure it was in my top 3, if not like top 2. It is one of my favorite games of all time. I love it so much. The thing is, what they did super well is they went hyper stylistic with it. Then they were like, they saw the feedback of, oh, I love this style. Oh, I love this style. This is so cool. And it's already a game that they don't have to like really think about the story structure of because it already exists.
Yeah.
So they just have to make the assets, which obviously I'd say just make the assets. It takes a long time to do that. But you don't have to think through it quite as much as, because the game basis is already there. Then you just take that art style and you make Echoes of Wisdom. And once again, it crushes. And so you use it to test like new things. And now you have a secondary art style Link game. Now you don't have to do full 3D like mainline games every single time. You have now found a way. They have now found a way to do secondary line Zelda games, which they've never been able to do before. They've only ever had like either the mainline games or like some weird thing that no one really liked. Hyrule Warriors was similarly successful, but that's a collaboration with a different style of game. That's not necessarily like its own thing. Now they have this like more chibi model thing like Link's Awakening and Echoes of Wisdom, where they can go do that.
I love that style
really
too.
hope. So, yes, I agree. Would love to see. If I had a wish list of games. Let's talk through this. This is a great thing to talk through. If I had a wish list of games that I were to see remade, here's like top of my list: Zelda 1 and 2 in the chibi art style.
That would be cool.
Wouldn't that be so fun?
That's so much potential there. And Link's Awakening, or not Link's Awakening, A Link to the Past as well.
Link to the Past. I think if they did a Link to the Past, I think it would also crush. Like in a very similar way, because it's that same isometric, like top-down style thing. I think that would be super cool.
I would love that.
I agree with you on like the other Prime series, like the trilogy or the original trilogy.
Yeah.
I think that would be super cool. I know some people also have problems with some of the controls in like the second one. I think it was. It was one of the two. The second or third one.
I think it's probably the third one. Well, okay, so the third one was the one that came out on the Wii, but then they came out with the Metroid Prime trilogy on the Wii, and it had all three of them, and then you had like the motion controls where you could use the regular ones. I personally like, because I'm used to the GameCube controller, I like having the analog controls instead of the motion controls, but
agreed.
Having the option to have both is great.
But they touched it up for Prime. Like basically if you just copy and paste like all of the stuff you did in Prime and just like make it work for the other two games, instant win in my opinion. I would love to see, honestly, if I had my way, I would, and they probably won't do this because they don't have precedent for doing this, but I would love to see an original Super Mario World in the style of the most recent.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Like not necessarily in the style of Super Mario Wonder, not necessarily in like the format of using, like just like the way it looks. Like I would love to see that. It would be so cool. You could do some super cool stuff. And also like piggybacking off the achievements thing, like that game is so deep.
Right.
You could have some super fun little Easter egg things in there for people who have already played the game. Like
Emily says Mario Odyssey 2 would be great. And if Okami 2 would come to Switch, I'd love to see some Okami remakes. That would be great. Dr. Deathwish says that like older retro games like Dragon Warrior could be nice to see in 3D form, because we've already they've already set a good precedent for
they're doing the 2D 3D remakes of
Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest, yeah. They're doing the Dragon Quest 2D, 3D remakes. So that's the other style that they can kind of dip into now. They have like the mainline styles for every major thing, and then you have like if you want the sprite style thing, you could do the 2D, 3D like remakes, or you can do the chibi thing.
Yeah.
Or you do the two-dimensional like new thing like Super Mario Wonder. Like all of those are now options open to you to go back and be like, all right, we're going to take these games that people love that may have had some weird that are dated and, you know, whatever, and then update them to this thing and bring them to a new audience. I'm a big fan of the 2D 3D like thing.
Me too. Also for Pokemon, our Gen 5 remakes would be awesome. Like I would love that. I just hope it doesn't
go over. But in what style? That's the thing.
I know, right? I hope it doesn't go over like BDSP, because people hated BDSP.
I never played that one, so I know I didn't like the way it looked.
I didn't mind the way it looked. It could have looked better because Link's Awakening looked better.
That is what I wanted it to be.
Right. So Link's Awakening looked way better, and it had a similar art style, and I didn't mind the chibi art. Like I think chibi stuff is really cute, and I'm all for it. I just think that, again, like we've talked about so many times on our podcast, is like Pokemon, the Pokemon company, they're just lazy, and they can get away with that because people are still gonna buy it anyway. They're just lazy. The laziness is what bothers me. So like I think that if they made Gen 5 remakes, but like, because Gen 5, the sprite work was really good on I loved it. Some people hate it, but I loved it on the DS. So could you imagine like having the regular Pokemon view, but like Scarvy models? walking around. I think that would be a cool compromise, and just like update the buildings and update the looks of the Pokemon and like all these things. And then like, I think that would be kind of cool just to see them kind of moving around like that. And like the chibi stuff, I think the chibi stuff it was a cool idea in theory, but in practice, it looked like shit. Because they just they didn't try.
They
and
didn't
also,
do it right. Well, and like the models weren't good. It still looked like pixelated. Like it still had like that. They tried to do the 2D 3D thing without doing the 2D 3D thing.
Yeah, and like people complained that I think the main complaint about BDSP was it was just lazy, and like they could have done a remake of Platinum, and like. But they wouldn't have sold as well because they have their, or they could have just done Platinum and done it better. Or if they had made, I think people would have been much happier if they made a quality piece of work rather than two lazy things that just sold a bunch. Like it's gonna sell regardless. It's the biggest franchise in the world. Like you're gonna make money off of it. Just like I think their laziness is my least favorite thing about the newer games.
Agreed. I think the other thing is I would love to see if we're talking Pokemon side of things, if they did the Fire Red Leaf Green games but in the 2D 3D art style.
They remake them again and sell them again. They would do that.
They would do that. That's what I'm saying. They would do that. So like if you did the 2D 3D, but like do it in the 2D 3D style though. Like make it more. Just make it more. You know what I mean? Make it cooler, or do it in the Link's Awakening like
right.
Super chibi style.
Emily was like, "You think they'll do another Yoshi game?" I'm like, "Absolutely, they will."
Oh, that's one of my predictions. Is and I'll go to this prediction now because that kind of leads into this one.
Yeah.
One of my predictions for the next era, I don't even know if this is really a big prediction or anything like that, is I think we're gonna start seeing more mainline like non-Zelda Mario games. In this next era. I feel like they didn't do a lot with non-Mario or Zelda mainline games. We had like one Kirby game.
Yeah, we had the big Kirby game, which was great.
Forgotten Lands, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a great game.
I think we get, but like that's the one. I feel like they could do more. I feel like if they went back and same kind of thing, if they went back and remade some like one or two, imagine updating the first Kirby game to modern stuff and making like
that would be cool. Well,
yeah,
they've kind of like Adventure and Dreamland like
modern technology like Switch.
Right. So there's a ton of Kirby games in the world, and I don't remember. There are remakes of certain ones that are kind of more modern. I think I want to say there's one for the Switch that kind of is like a remake of the original, but I can't remember. But I do know what you're saying. It's like just modernize older things, because I think Nintendo's really bad at maintaining their legacy titles.
Yeah.
They notoriously have been, because they're like, hey, don't emulate our games. But buy our games.
But don't give us but we're not going to give you any new games to play either.
You want the old games? No, we're going to send you a cease and desist. We're going to sue you.
So I fully expect, and this is a thing, this is a testament to the fact that they're doing Metroid Prime 4. Yeah. I expect obviously the Metroid Prime 4 game. I expect a new Yoshi game. I expect a new Kirby game. I expect a new Star Fox game.
That would be rad. I'd love to see
Star
like
Fox
updated
game
Star Fox.
would be amazing. Now I don't know what it would be. Is it going to be the like adventures / other one where you like run around as the person and also get in the ship? Or is it going to be like OG Star Fox, use the ship, shoot around?
I would love to see so the only reason I don't think we'll see a Star Fox Adventures remaster is because it's association with Rare.
I know, but I'm not saying a remaster. I'm saying in that style.
Right.
Like if they made a new game,
yeah,
what kind of style are they going to go
Yeah,
after?
Star
'Cause
Fox Assault, from what I remember, like
it does some of that stuff.
it does like a little bit of both. Like you've
Yeah.
got like vehicles and stuff, but you have like the on land shooting segments, but then you've got like the airship stuff. So
Exactly. No,
that
I
would
think
be. Oh, Chloe, what's up, Chloe?
yeah, I think that would be like a big push in the right direction. And so imagine for a second, Brooks, I think you know my love for RPGs.
Yep.
Imagine for a second a 2D, 3D Earthbound. Oh my gosh. The money they would make
I'd buy it.
off of an
I'd buy,
Earthbound remake.
I'd buy like. Can I have like 5
Or-
copies of this just so I can give to people?
Or a Link's Awakening style, like new style, like round, because it already kind of fits the style. That
Yeah.
rounded everything,
Yeah,
like
so-
isometric, 3-dimensional, like cartoony thing.
If they remade Earthbound like that, I'd be extremely content. I'd be like, you know what, guys,
Oh
y'all
my-
don't even have to try
yeah,
anymore.
I was
Like
gonna
I
say,
have
you're
it.
good. You're good.
Oh, dude. And then like widescreen, just like make the models really nice, make everything, and then they could do like if they did Mother 1, 2, and
Oh,
3, like I can't count
dude.
1, 2, and 3 like that. That'd be great.
Yeah, dude, it'd be
Um,
so nice. But that's the thing is like there's so much potential now because they've had so much success with remakes. And you're right. I
Mm-hmm.
think in that same vein, you know, I think I predict that we're going to see a lot more of those kinds of games. Not necessarily. I agree with your remakes thing, but I actually think we're also going to see a lot of new games come from some of those franchises as well.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
my prediction.
That would be awesome. That'd be huge. Because I mean, like Nintendo is the king of IPs. Like they have so many good ones. Like I know Dylan. He's like, when are we getting Donkey Kong 65? And I'm just like, you know, I'd love a 3D Donkey Kong game. That would be
Tropical
awesome.
Freeze did really well.
Yeah, and
A lot
they
of
had
people
like
liked
a. It was like Donkey Kong Country, but in 3D. But like having the 3D collectathon, like that thing, I think it would make a lot of people really happy, and it would just be fun. I think exploring a world like that would be the most fun that you could have with that, because that's what I mean. People may not like the collectathon aspect, but like people, I think the reason people love open world game, or I mean, you know what I mean when I say it.
Adventure games, yeah.
like Mario 64. It's like
Yeah.
the worlds you could run around in are so memorable and they're awesome. And like
Yeah.
I love I think it was like Wet Dry World, for example, where they have like you could raise the water level and you go in, and then you have like the city that's like hidden in the world. Just like I love exploring those worlds, and that's the best part about like 3D platformers is what I meant to say, not open world, but
Yeah.
like and like Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, those games.
Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah, they're awesome because of the world you get to run around in and explore, and the collectathon aspect makes you look and experience the world. So I like that.
Hey, Dr. Deathwish, that's a great shout. Pac-Man Adventure.
Those games are awesome.
Yeah,
Those games are so awesome. I
that
want
would
to
be
stream
super
them so
cool.
bad.
That'd be super cool.
I love Pac-Man Adventure 1 and 2.
But like updated and like big. Imagine putting like some really good money. Some really
I think they had
good
a third
money
one
behind.
too. You could just do you could do a remake of all 3 of them, put them in one game, and people would buy it.
Oh, dude.
Because like a 3-in-1, sell it for $60.
Yeah.
I'd buy it.
That would be so good. Yeah. Is there a third?
I
That
think
is-
Pac-Man Adventure 3.
It's Pac-Man World 3.
Pac-Man World 3.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it would be huge if we got
Yeah.
or even like a new Pac-Man like 3D or 3D World or something, or like a
Yeah.
new updated Pac-Man-ish kind of thing. I think would be super cool. That's probably less likely to happen than I think some of the other mainline games.
Right.
I think they've already seen success with like the Fire Emblem games, were like
Yeah.
both super successful.
Mhm.
And so with all of the here's the other thing. You also got to think about like the movie franchise aspect of this. So like a Donkey Kong game would actually make a lot of sense because he was in the movie and he's probably going to be in again the second movie. That's another reason why I think they will do a Yoshi game, because
yeah.
the Yoshi game, because Yoshi is supposed to be the second movie, so they will probably drop a heavily Yoshi focused game, whether it's a Mario game or a Yoshi game, whatever, and push it to that. That's also why I think they might do Super Mario World, because it's so heavily Yoshi focused.
Yeah.
In Super Mario World, so doing a Super Mario Wonder kind style remake of Super Mario World and maybe Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island.
That would be awesome. That would be so cool, because I don't think that game has been remade at all or brought back. Like, you can play it on NSO, but like, yeah, that one hasn't been touched in a long time.
Nope.
So
there's a lot that could be done. And Luigi's Mansion 3.
True.
We need that. I also think that's coming.
Let's see. She would be cute.
I also think that's coming. Let's read through chat real quick. Take a second to read through chat.
Trebs, what's up? Thanks for showing up, man.
Trebs, what's up?
I think we'll get into Luigi's Mansion. We had one for Switch. Probably, oh my gosh, I want a Yoshi game. That'd be sick. Yeah, I completely agree. Yoshi, I mean, like, I love how cute. Oh, Yoshi, what's that one game on the N64? It's like Yoshi, not Yoshi's Island. It's like, hold on.
So they had Yoshi's Felt World or whatever it was.
Yeah, Woolly World.
Woolly World, yeah, that one.
Felt World is crazy. That goes hard. N64.
They like doing weird stuff
Yoshi
with
Story.
Yoshi
That's
Story,
yeah. That'd be cool to see, because Yoshi Story is really cute.
Yeah, it really is. But like a remake of that would be super cute.
Yeah,
there's a lot of good options there. They got so many good games that they haven't touched in so long that I think are also like, it suffers from some small issues of limitation of the time.
Right.
That if they touched them up and pulled them into the modern day, that I think it would, and reintroduce it to a new audience.
Right.
Whereas like the hardcore dedicated like Nintendo audience loves them.
Mm-hmm.
So you already have a instant buyer group that's gonna get the game.
Yeah.
So then if they make the game and they fix a lot of the weird tiny issues about it that make it more palatable for the broader audience, and everybody already has a Switch or Switch 2, then yeah, gonna sell so much easier. And people love a Yoshi game because they're cute.
So here's a question for you, kind of sort of back to the predictions.
Okay.
Side. My prediction for the next mainline Zelda game: open world plus dungeons.
Okay. Explain.
So we'll have open world Zelda. You can kind of do whatever you want to do, as you know, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. The demand for traditional dungeons has come back. So for example, you know, the like in Breath of the Wild, you had the beasts, and you would go in, and it felt the same. That was like your dungeon. You had 4 main dungeons, and then you had other ones.
And Tears of the Kingdom, you didn't really have like a true dungeon.
Yeah, you had like, I mean, you kind of had the Lost Woods was not. It was more like a puzzle. It wasn't really like a dungeon. But like, I think for the next mainline Zelda game, having the open world aspect, but having like solid dungeons, maybe in the kind of like open world style, where it's like kind of open-ended.
Maybe there's like multiple entrances to the dungeon, and like you have to
that would
figure
be cool.
your way
that
around
was like they did that in A Link to the Past.
They did.
So like, and that's one of my favorite games. And some of my favorite dungeon design is where you like Turtle Rock, and then you had like the second dungeon where you get in the second pendant or whatever, where it's like you go in and out of the desert one, and then you go into a certain spot. Like, it was small, but it was really cool to go out into the overworld, back into the dungeon. I think Link's Awakening did that as well.
On a couple, I think like 2 of the dungeons did that.
Yeah, I mean,
and one of the bosses you fight on top of the dungeon.
Yeah, the more I think about it, they started doing that a lot in Zelda. 'Cause I think the Temple of Light, you do that, but you go back and forth in time between young Link and like adult Link. But like, my prediction, and I'm going to predict this even if I feel like it's not going to happen and I'll be wrong. I'm going to predict they will bring back traditional dungeons in an open world Zelda, because I want to have hope for these things. Because that's the biggest thing people are like upset about, is like, I love Breath of the Wild. Don't get me wrong. Like I think that that's one of my favorite Zelda games, and like that style is great for Zelda. It's a natural progression of the Zelda formula. But I think there have been interviews with the guy. All their names like. Okay, I have to see.
Yeah, look it up real quick.
Who is the guy? It's
Talk about the creator of Zelda.
Tezuka.
Oh, okay.
So he's kind of like, well, it's Shigeru Miyamoto and Takashi Tezuka. Tezuka was in my okay. At least I'm not going crazy because Tezuka was the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah.
I just had to double check. They've interviewed him before, and they were like, he was like, yeah, we don't really have any plans to go backwards, which kind of worries me.
Yeah, except they did.
Yeah, I wish they would. You know, like
Yeah.
they have no desire to move backwards, but I'm like, you could do both and have both. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they could have that, and it would be great. They would do
Yeah.
such a great job with it.
They would.
You know?
I think, yeah, they want it to feel very fluid, and I understand.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they don't, because they still have like the temple things that you have to go in every game and get the tiers.
Yeah.
So it's like that's a kind of I guess that is supposed to be kind of the puzzle dungeon.
I think what people really miss and love about Zelda is like going into the dungeon, solving the puzzles, getting the item, beating the dungeon. And there's not, because they did that for so long, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I just think the marriage of old and new school together would be such a treat, because you have the newer Zelda form, which I like more, of just having like the open world kind of exploration aspect to it. But then you've got like the traditional dungeons that like, that's the reason people love Zelda, is for exploration and discovery and puzzle solving. Like Zelda is a great franchise because it takes a lot of little aspects of games that people like, and they put it all together, and it makes this one big great giant thing. And I think that people are just missing the older aspects and the older execution of the dungeon format. That was a poorly worded sentence.
No, I get what you mean though. Yeah, I agree. I fully agree. Like I want to see more of that kind of stuff, throwback stuff, and maybe that's why they will remake the first Zelda game, because it's just a dungeon crawl.
That would be great.
You know what I mean?
That. Also, Ghost, what's up, dude? Thanks for showing
up. What's up, Ghost? Yeah, it's just a dungeon crawl. So it would actually make a lot of sense for that to be why, like, instead of giving the people that in a new game, give it to them in an old game that they don't have to like change their new system. Do you think, now here's a question, do you think they will make a trilogy out of Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and another whatever third game? Do you think we will have our first, like, because would that be the first Zelda trilogy?
Oh, that's a good question. That
are like straightforward, just connected to each other.
Oh my God. I think that's a great question, but also a loaded question, because part of me wants to say yes and part of me wants to say no, because part of me wants to say yes because, they made Tears of the Kingdom. It's basically Breath of the Wild plus, and it is
storyline. It's continuation.
Yeah. And then they, what happened is they had a lot of really cool ideas with like what do you call that new mechanic? I guess it's just because he's got the arm and like, I forgot
but it's a building mechanic.
Yeah, the build. Let's just call it that, because there's a name for it, but I don't remember exactly what it is. But the new gameplay mechanics that they added into that were super creative and super. That's like the best part about it.
Dude,
like,
it's so fun. The amount of replayability you get just going into the world and being like, what kind of crazy thing can I make?
True.
Today?
So the reason that my gut is telling me no is because I don't think, like, if they have ideas that combine both of those and add on to it, I would be like, that's just like pure ingenuity at that point. Like that's like a expert level of ingenuity. I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm just saying it would be I couldn't fathom having that pressure on me, as a developer and as
but
a
also
game
they only
director
make one big Zelda game per console.
True. And then they used to make more, but like games were smaller back then, but
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I don't think it's impossible. I think it would be insanely difficult, but I think it could happen. I think I would be a little disappointed if it was like extremely similar to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I think it's possible. I think that's a great question, but it's a loaded question. What do you think? Like, where do you stand on that? Just to give me an idea.
I think they will,
Mm-hmm.
mainly because I think this was the first time that they've done like recurring characters outside of the main three.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have a lot of recurring characters.
Yeah, Tears of the
between
Kingdom
two
is directly after, and you do have like the same locations and like the same characters and like
exactly. So that's the thing is like now, can it? Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
There's enough loose end story stuff I think at the end of Tears of the Kingdom that they could do it. Because they kind of did it. I think they did a really good job going from Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom. They did a time travel-y kind of thing. So can they do that again? They can write their way into anything pretty much.
Yeah.
So do I think they will? I think that's probably going to be the next game. The big game, big mainline game is a continuation of that, and we will have our first Zelda trilogy. Our first proper Zelda trilogy.
That would be really cool, honestly.
Now, who's going to be the bad guy? Because they have a bunch of bad guys they could bring into this, and it's going to be Ganondorf as like a part of it. But like, what if they bring in like the wizard from a bunch of like one of these other games, or like a major player in some of this? Dude, there's so much potential there that maybe they start bringing in some of these other bad guys, and that's like the big finale.
I think what would be cool, could you imagine if they brought the Twilight Realm back for a sequel, and then they also dropped like
Twilight Realm as
Twilight
like
Princess?
Yeah.
So like they have a remake
Dude.
of Twilight Princess, and then the mainline Zelda like throws back to that. It's like, whoa, what the heck is this? Where did this come from? Oh, you want to know?
Well, yeah.
Like,
so they give you Twilight Princess as the remake, as a lead up to them dropping the mainline game, and them being like, "Hey, you know how we did main level, sky level, underground level?
Yeah.
Now we're gonna have main level, Twilight level, and maybe like a third like non like whatever the antithesis of Twilight would be, and it's like
cool.
3 full maps with like these subtle changes based on which parallel universe you're in.
Having an open world Twilight realm would be cool, because I loved in Twilight Princess how like it changed. I mean, it wasn't too different, but like experiencing the world in Twilight form was really cool, because you could go back and like you could get to you'd be the wolf, so you could get to places that you couldn't go to again. And you could do that. But like, I don't know, that may just be like lore wise might be a reach, but I think it would be cool. I think it could be cool.
That's what I'm saying. Well, it exists in the lore. So I'm not sure. I mean, it's not, but also like you said, they don't like to go back on something that they've already done.
Also, having Midna come back would be awesome. She's one of my favorite characters in Zelda, period. Great character.
Yeah, great character. I don't think they would actually do that. I do think there's going to be a third game. How they do it, I'm not 100% sure. But I do think there will be a third game, and we will have our first Zelda trilogy. That's a big prediction from me. For 2025 / like the Switch. I don't even know if it would be 2025. It'll be the Switch 2 life, honestly, because it isn't probably going to happen for another like 3 or 4 years if we get that. But in the 2025 predictions, maybe we'll see some lead up into that based on what they're remaking, what they choose to remake.
Do you have any final thoughts? Any final predictions?
don't think so. Oh, I do actually. I have one more prediction.
Mm-hmm.
I think in 2025, because of the new hardware updates for the Switch 2,
Mm-hmm.
I think we are going to see a massive influx, more than we saw at the end of last year, of third-party titles. I think we are going to see a huge influx of third-party titles coming in because of the system's power update.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's a really good point, because we already have Dark Souls on the Switch. We have
Yep.
Skyrim on the Switch. Like, we have, Dragon's Dogma and all these other games
Yep.
on the Switch. I think that would be awesome for the Switch to like house these really like maybe bigger games, and then we like port them over. That could be pretty cool.
Could be pretty cool,
if the hardware-
especially if the hardware can accelerate it enough to like make it look pretty good.
Well, yeah,
and you
even if
have
it
it handheld.
Yeah, even if it didn't look as good as it could, like you could have a Switch version that doesn't look as good, but it's like on the go.
Yeah.
Like, I know we have the Steam Deck already. The Steam Deck does exist. Great. But like, also the Steam Deck doesn't have Switch titles.
And it's
so-
also huge.
Right.
By comparison, like footprint size, it's like way bigger.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big push in the coming year. Is the third party title stuff is going to be flooding in. I also, because of that, want to see the Switch be accepted into the multi-platform side of things.
That would be awesome.
I think like Baldur's Gate 3 is going multi-platform.
Oh yeah, like if you have at least be able to be multi-platform with PC games.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that would be great.
And
It's
maybe
like-
not all of them. Maybe just like some certain ones, because I can understand how that would be kind of taxing on the system. But
True.
like, especially like a very, very light system like the Switch, but like a Switch 2, if it's
Yeah.
going to be significantly more powerful, which we all assume it's going to be, a
Right.
big jump in power level of like
Yeah.
ability to play games.
Chloe said they wanted a better online service for the Switch.
Yeah.
And, we actually talked about that earlier and how it was
Yeah.
really crappy on past consoles and like.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think
we
they're gonna
agree.
try. I think they're gonna try, and I think it's gonna be bad.
Right.
But yeah, I think if they go the big route of multi-platform, or they go multi-platform indie games,
Mhm.
because they're like, if indie games start becoming more multi-platform, of somehow, I don't know exactly how that would function, but
Right.
if that's more of a thing, then maybe it lives in that space a little more. Yeah, that was a big. I think that was a big one. I really want to see it get accepted into the multi-platform like side of things with all
Yeah.
of these games. I think it kind of is with like Fortnite and things
Mhm.
that run on multi-server like aspects. Like I think Fortnite and what's the one with the cars and the soccer?
Oh my God. I know what you mean. Why is that leaving my brain right now?
I
Somebody-
play it and I just can't
Somebody
remember.
in chat will say it's like
It's this game. Yeah. Rocket League. Yes.
Rocket League. Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Chloethan. Yeah, I think stuff like that are already multi-platform in that way, but I want to see more is what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think I'm tapped out on predictions and
Yep.
wants and needs for
think-
my Switch
I-
2.
I'm just excited.
Yeah, me too. I'm just so stoked for the Switch 2. I think it's going to be a great console. I have nothing but like I really do have like high hopes, even though my predictions most of them are pretty negative. I really do have a lot of high hopes for that console.
Oh, for sure.
I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it. So
For sure. Well, Books, thanks for coming on this live and hanging out, and Chat, thanks for coming out for the podcast. Hang around and we might do some more stuff, but for now, we'll see you guys in the next one. If you want to check us out, make sure we go to YouTube at Things We Like Pod. Check us if you want to listen to us on audio form because you don't like our faces. I totally understand.
Me too.
So it's on all audio platforms as well. Or if you watch us on Spotify, it's also there in video form. If you can toggle between the two, if you're unsure how you want to look at us or not. And then if anything, we thank you for hanging out. Come catch us live on Tuesdays. And yeah, thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.